Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This week we are going to continue with the 3 months predictions for groups because I do have a few on my list to do that. It's boy groups and girl groups as well. So I'm going to take this opportunity to do the ones that I have pendant. So today is going to be about and for the boy group BTOB. I don't know if I read for them as a group. I believe I read for a certain member, probably for Minhyuk. So yes, this is my first time reading for them. So let's see what they have available for the next 3 months. And the cards that they got, it's the Two of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the World, the Judgment, and the Four of Swords. So, and then from the Oracle of, it's the Oracle of, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of this oracle, but I know that it's ancestors and angels. I'm sorry, it just left my mind for a few. I have so many oracles that I was looking at this and I was like, oh, what was this name? And then from this oracle, I got the card of the eagle. So let's see. Starting off with the Four of Wands, definitely it's about planning and also taking. It's something that is going to lead to some action, but it's still in the process of planning. Honestly, I think that they're thinking about a huge change that they want to give to their careers, but this is going to take a while actually, because I think that they need to have a sort of transformation. I think that they want to close a cycle first. Probably it has to do with the end of this year that we are still transitioning. I think that it has to do with this, I think that they first want this year to end, and then next year they want to plan a new beginning and new things. And I think that they are being really prudent about this. Probably they are taking their time to actually do some reviews and have a lot of conversations, and at the same time of getting together and connecting with what they desire. I think that they do need to have very long conversations. They do need to sit and listen to each other because they have different perspectives of what they want to do, and I think that we also here with the card of the Judgment card, this major arcana talks about that it's time to make a very important decision that can no longer be postponed. I think that they definitely need to to make an important decision, and I think that it has to do with the group. It's not about a certain member. I think that it has to do with all of them being together. I think that they somehow had been experiencing a lot of things on their own. They had grown a lot as individuals, and I think that they definitely need to sit down and have an honest and very heart-to-heart conversation about their future, because I think that there could be a lot of decisions or a lot of desires that they want to manifest to each other, that probably it has to do with their individual desires, with them actually wanting to do things on their own, or wanting to take one step further and just adventurate on new kinds of gigs or activities, and And I think that some of them also want to rest. This is very important because we have, as the last tarot card, we have the Four of Swords, that is the card of rest. So I think that if we have people that have very clear in their mind about what they want to do next year, and then we have others that actually want to stay a bit away from the exposure. So they definitely need to have these conversations, and I think that it's going to take a while for them to decide. To be honest, I don't think, actually, probably next year you're going to see like them promoting as a group, because I do not see a lot of action here. I see a lot of planning, and I think that there's like different kinds of energies here. You have very different members here. There are the members that want to still doing things and promotions and showing themselves, and also that they are receiving a lot of invitations, probably from to host some shows, or probably to present in some variety shows, or to be an MC. So there are a lot of them that do have like a good relationship, like they do networking very well, in the sense that they do have connections in the industry where they are being like considered to certain positions or to certain activities and work. But then there are others that honestly they want to rest. I think that we have also people that are very tired emotionally, physically, and mentally, and they just don't want to go straight into the exposure again. Probably they need 3-4 months to recover their energy. So this is why I'm saying that I don't think in these 3 months you are going to see or hear news of them releasing something together. Probably you will have to wait until the middle of this year, of next year, 2022, probably September, if maybe you will hear something that is related to the group. But I think that now it's more about them preserving their energies. I think that there are a lot of people here that somehow they had, like I mentioned, all of them have different individual experiences when it comes to their personal life. So probably you have the outgoing type, and then you have the introvert type, that they are more like home people, that they don't want to go out that much, that they don't want to go back to the idol scene that fast. But definitely there's a sense of, even though in these differences, there's a sense of unity. So I don't think it's actually it's talking about disbandment. I think that it's talking more about taking things slow, taking things slowly, being very mindful about what job are they going to say yes to, what project are they going to get involved. I think that individually they do have the possibilities of choosing different things, but this doesn't mean that the group is not united. Actually, it's nothing like that at all. I think that this group is very stable when it comes to their bond. I think that there's an emotional bond here, but there's also a lot of different circumstances. Some of them are like very used to being in the spotlight, or actually like I mentioned, working with other people, networking, they are much more used to be in front of the camera, and they are just relaxed. And then we have others that they just want to go home and rest, and probably, yes, connect connect with their artistic side, but more in a very intimate environment, you know, and not so much about showing up and doing interviews and stuff. I think that some people really need to rest. Definitely this year had been challenging for some of the members. I think that some of them are really tired. Some of them are actually a bit like excited. I sense that you probably have like 2 or 3 members that are really excited to you know, to meet other idols, to hang out, you know, to appear in a lot of shows, you know, that they are really excited because they do enjoy and have fun, and it's about them being outgoing. And then we have the other side that it's a bit like, no, I want to preserve my energy, I need to stay home, something like this. And then from the oracle of you know, this oracle of ancestors and angels, I got the card of the eagle. That the eagle is also a card that talks about you seeing things from a higher perspective, because you know that the tactic of the eagle is to actually being like they fly over in very high in the sky, but actually they do have the ability with their eyesight to see miles away, to see their prey, you know, what they want to hunt. So I think that this is encouraging them to take this moment to be very observant, you know, to be very observant of how the K-pop industry is developing, where they are aiming to, you know, what they are becoming, what they are planning, because I think that the K-pop industry is in this process of a lot of reinvention and a lot of like in the process of adaptability when it comes to the new technologies, and also with them trying to get much more content online. So, you know, they do need to catch up with that. And at the same time, I think that whatever their individual activities are, they will have the possibility to see things from other perspective, and actually to see things for what they really are. I think that because you know, in the middle of the tarot, in the tarot spread, I see the judgment here, the judgment card. The judgment card, it's a card, and also there's other major arcana important as well, that is the world. So I think that these are indicating that they are coming to a moment where they cannot postpone anymore certain truths about the group, or about probably about the future of the group. I think that they do need to make a decision, but they still are not ready to make that decision. But they, and I think, and I don't think it's about disbanding actually. I think that it's more about them becoming a bit more outspoken, because you know, the first card is the Two of Wands, that represents the card of dominion. So definitely I think that they should get together to talk about a certain strategy when it comes to how they are going to manage, or how they are going to be managed, because I think that they definitely are in this position already with their experience to be able to then dominate their own careers and actually to make their own decisions. I think that they need to use this dominion to set very clear demands and boundaries. I think that next year is going to be a year where they will have to make very strong demands to the company, or they will have to speak up. You know, I think that this is about them actually realizing that there are a lot of inconsistencies here when it comes to their management that can no longer be ignored. So they also need to talk to each other, you know, they need to hear each other, because I think that they are maturing, and somehow their points of view are very different, and also what they want to do in the future is also different. So they need to be honest with each other. I think that next year is going to be about also them finding out a lot of things, probably finding out secrets, or finding out from other sources some undeniable truths. I think that they had been trying to stay positive and to stay optimistic through all the hardships and through all the moments of necessity. They try to stay optimistic because of the fans. They try to stay strong. They try to not be problematic. They remain silent and respectful. But I think that next year is going to be a year where they will have to speak about certain things, because they need to take the control of their careers and of the group as well, because I think that there have been a lot of moments of, I wouldn't say humiliation, but there had been moments where they were treated very unfairly and also being treated with less importance than actually what they are. I think that they had always been this very solid group, but somehow they were always like told, or people made them feel with their feedbacks that actually they weren't that talented or that popular. So I think that there's a bit of like a lot of hurtful words being said to them, that somehow it's what makes them feel like they have to take every opportunity that they get while they get it. And I think that this is more about them being like, no, we are here for a very long time. Like, we know the industry, we know the bright side and the not so bright side. We had remained here, we had been loyal, we had been stable. We need more respect. This is about respect. And I think that sometimes people forget that they actually had tried to maintain a certain stability in the group, even with members and integrants not being present. They definitely went through a lot of transitions and also transformation. They had somehow been able to stay together. So, and they did it on their own. So I think that if this is about money, they definitely should ask for more money. There's something about them becoming a bit more smart when it comes to, what people are doing with their image, because I sense that the fandom is there. They have a very solid fandom and they are very loved. But I think that they need to become a bit more strategic, because I think that they are being taken advantage of. And this is not something of today. I think that it had been like this for a very long time. So it's about, like putting your cards on the table and being like, okay, I don't want this anymore, or I want things to be different, or else we will leave. I think that it's a bit harsh. This is why I don't want to talk about disbandment, because it's not about the dissolution of the group. It's more about the dissolution of an era of mistreatment. This is why the World card is here, is to remind them that they need to put an end to this sort of invisibility spell that they have been under, because actually they are very talented people and they are very good people. So a lot of people love them. They have a lot of idol friends. They are very, very popular and also very good influence for the trainees or whoever comes after them. They are also very funny and they are like the light of the party almost. So they had tried to remain optimistic for a very long time, but now I think that they they are in this position where they can no longer deny the truth about, okay, where are you going with the group, you know, and what do you want to do? Like, I think that they here with this oracle of the eagle, I think that definitely they need to open their eyes. They need to, you know, start seeing the small details or the small clues that were always there, but it's just that they didn't pay attention because they didn't want to believe it, or either they were so busy that they just weren't paying attention. But I think that they need to take dominion of their circumstances and the future of the group, because if they expect these people to actually care for them, they are not going to get it. They need to take action. But I also understand here with the Nine of Pentacles in the middle that it's all about being strategic, but also not rushing things, and also using a lot of prudence, you know, and not being just acting crazy, you know, and being like, oh, I'm going to tell this person I don't like this. And no, it's more about being strategic, like plan really well what you're going to say, and please have ready documents, proof, witnesses, you know, like just make, you know, a very organized matter so they cannot refuse your demands, or so they cannot like gaslight you, you know, so the company will have to face that this is the reality that the group has been living. So yes, it's going to be a very transformative year actually. So I think that this is a moment of answering the call, you know, of paying attention to the signs, to actually like being very, very mindful, very present, and not being afraid. Thank God all the cards that they got are cards of a lot of awareness. So there's no fear here, there's no instability actually. I think that they know exactly how they feel, but they need to talk with each other. They need to have this conversation where they will stay on the same side, you know, because union is what makes the force. So yes, guys, this is all I have for B2B. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your feedback if you're a fan of them. So thank you so much for being here. Bye.